Welcome again. Today we'll revise the most important items in your book 11, and more importantly we'll give you a mock exam and we will see how we are going to deal with that. So please don't go away.
So now we start with the specifications of the exam. You'll always start with 2 reading comprehension texts. For both texts you'll have 25 marks. Text 1 10 marks, text 2 15 marks. Then you will move on to vocabulary, which will have 15 marks, and you'll have 2 types of questions here. First one is choose the most suitable answer and then write A, B, C or D in the blank space. You'll have 10 marks, 10 sentences, meaning 1 mark for each one. Then you'll have another type of question, which is match each word in column A with its meaning in column B. You'll have 5 marks for 5 items, meaning 1 mark for each one. Next you'll have grammar, 15 marks, the total. You have 2 types of questions, A and B. The first one is choose the most suitable answer from A, B, C or D. You'll have 10 marks. Again, 1 mark for each question. Then another type of question is correct the underlined mistakes in the following sentences, and you'll have 5 marks for 5 sentences. Okay, here you have to correct some mistakes in the sentences given to you. Finally, you'll have the writing question. The total of that question is 15 marks. You'll have 3 types of questions here. First one is add the missing letters. You'll have 2 marks. Actually, usually you'll have 4 missing letters, half a mark for each one, so the total will be 2 marks. Then you'll be asked to write 3 meaningful sentences about any given topic, and you'll have 3 marks, 1 mark for each sentence. The final question is write a paragraph of about 120 to 150 words about any given topic. You'll have 10 marks for that question. Now we'll start with teaching you how to deal with the reading questions, because this is very important. It's not about knowing a lot of vocabulary item or anything, it's just how to deal with the reading comprehension text. I would advise you to do the following. First, read questions. Read questions before reading the text. Number 2, circle keywords in the question. Find the most important words in the question, because this will help you try to find the answer in the correct place in the text. Number 3, read to look for answers. After you have read the questions, go back to the text and try to find the answers. Number 4, after you've finished all the answers, you can read the whole text again to make sure you are correct, because sometimes you'll have surprising things. Okay, now we'll try to do this, apply this on a text today. Read the following text and answer the questions below. You'll have 10 marks for that one, the first text. Okay, as you can see, you have so many paragraphs. What I would do is I will just skip all these. I will skip all these slides and go directly to the questions. Here we'll have complete the following sentences. The first type of question. Okay, you have 3 sentences here. Let's see what we will do. Here is a question saying that his parents didn't go to. We have somebody in the text, and we need to know that his parents did not go somewhere. Okay, what are the most important words here? You'll have to find the key words in the question. The key words, of course, are parents. And notice that in the text you might have the word parents, I mean the exact word, or you might have something that means the same thing. For example, you might have father and mother. Okay, so it's not necessary that you'll have the very same word. Another word is go. So you need to go to the text and scan the whole text to find anything about parents and go. Okay, Of course, in the exam, you'll have to take more time to do this. In order to save time, I will just take you to the part of the text where you can find the answer. And that's it, okay? Here you have to look for the word parents and go. Nelson Mandela was born in 1980. Neither his father nor his mother. So here we have father and mother, meaning parents, okay? Ever went to school? Here we have go, but in the past tense. So went to school, school. So this seems like the missing word. Now we'll go back to the question. So his parents didn't go to, very easy now, of course. Very good. To school. Nice. Now we'll move on to the next one. He wanted to serve his people in their fight for. So I have to find keywords here. He wanted to serve. I will try to go to the text and find the word serve. And fight also is a very important word. I'll have to scan the whole text to find these two words or any words similar to them. I'll take you back to the slide where you can find this. Okay. So, if you just have time to read this. He listened to the elders of his tribe speaking about the good old days before the arrival of the white man, when black people lived peacefully and freely. The land was theirs. He knew then that he wanted to serve, that's our word, to serve his people in their fight, another word, for what? For freedom. For freedom. Let's go back to the question, of course. So their fight for, very good, for freedom. Very easy if you know how to do it. Next. Nelson Mandela became the first African dots. That's a very easy question. You just go to the text and find the exact or the keywords in the question. I would say the keywords are first and African, or again anything similar or having the same meaning. I would go to the slide that has this information. Okay, try to read this and find the words we're looking for. On June 11th, 1964, Nelson Mandela was sent to prison. He was released after 27 years when the South Africans got their rights. He became the first African. You see, he became the first African what? President. African president. Okay? So let's go back to our question. So Nelson Mandela became the first African, very good, president. The first African president. Okay? Then we'll have another type of question, which is mark true or false. We have 3 sentences. You'll have to mark true or false. A sentence like this, saying that the African people had good days before the arrival of the white man. Okay? You'll have to understand this fact and try to find the most important words, which are, I think, good days. So you'll have to go back to the text and find these words, good days, and white man, for example, white man. Okay? If you use circles, this will make it easier for you because you will remember the question. Okay? Now we'll go to the text again. Okay? He listened to the elders of his tribe speaking about the good old days before the arrival of the white man, when black people lived peacefully and freely. So what is the impression here? You have the impression that before the white man came, everything was good. There were good old days and people lived peacefully and freely. So, of course, the impression is that, of course, these days were good days. So let's see what we will do here. What do you think? The African people had good days before the arrival of the white man. True or false? Very good, of course, it's true. Nice. Next one. Nelson Mandela studied law. What do you think the most important word here is? What do you think? Of course, studied. Studied. You'll have to find what Nelson Mandela studied. What did he study? Was it really law or something else? So go back to the text. Here is the slide where you can find it. Okay. When he was 16, he was old enough to take part in the parliament of his tribe. He was now a man. At 23, Nelson went to Johannesburg, where he later studied law. So here we have the word studied. Of course, so he studied what? Law. So let's go back to the question. Now we are confident that we'll have the right answer. Okay, so Nelson Mandela studied law. Of course, the sentence is true. Very good. Okay, next. Another question is, we have a name here of a woman, and we should make sure, is this woman his sister or was she somebody else? So we'll have to look for this name in the text. Was she Mandela's sister? Let's go back and find out. Winnie Madikizela is Mandela's sister. Let's go back and find out. Okay, so yeah, here you'll have the name of the woman. Okay, but let's go back to the beginning of the sentence. In 1958, he married Winnie. He married Winnie. So the woman was not his sister, of course. She was his wife. Okay, let's go back to the question. Okay, so is she his sister? Of course not. That's not true. Okay. Now we move on to another type of question. We're still doing text one. I'm reminding you we are still trying to answer questions of text one in reading. Choose the correct answer from A, B, C, or D, and you usually have 4 marks, 2 marks for each question. He joined the African National Congress when he was, what age? We have 4 options here. Okay. This is not a direct question. You'll have to go back to 2 places in the text where you can find the correct answer. But first you'll have to remember these words. The African National Congress. The African National Congress. What time did he join that? Go back to this slide and see. In 1944. So knowing that he joined the Congress in 1944, you have to look back for the date of his birth, and you'll find that he was born in 1918. 1918. I guess you don't have to be very, very good at mathematics in order to figure out that his age at that time was, of course, 26 years old. Okay. By the way, this kind of question is often repeated in exams, especially in comprehension questions. So that will make you sure that you are on the right track, of course. The answer is 26 years old. Okay, let's go to the final question. Now he is trying to solve the problems that arise between dots countries. We have an adjective here describing countries. What kind of countries? Okay. Of course, you'll have some important words to look for, like solve problems between countries, especially the word countries. You'll have to go back to the text where you can find all these words. Okay, here you have it. I guess the last 3 lines are the most important ones for us here. Now he is trying to solve the problems that arise between African countries. African countries. So of course the answer is between European, African, Asian, or American. Of course it's African. Very clear. Okay, African countries. Now we'll move on to text 2, which is a little bit longer than the previous one. Okay. In text 2, I would advise you to have the main idea first before going to the questions, because it's longer than the first one. Television is one of the latest inventions of science. It presents both sight and sound. So here we understand, firstly, we understand that the text is about television. Okay, here is a description of television. Here we have a description of how important the invention of the television has become. Okay, and here we have something about the usefulness or the advantages of television. Okay, I'm only trying to show you how quickly you should read this in order to get the main ideas only. Okay, so again we have more about the advantages of television, as you can see. Here about education lessons, about housewives and how can they use the television. Okay, again about education and children getting more information, so on. Okay, here is a very important turning point here, because we have something about the disadvantages, about troubles, people being unhappy because of television. So of course we understand that this is something about the disadvantages of television. Okay, here we have a very good sentence: a good servant but a bad master. Television is a good servant but a bad master. We have a kind of explanation for that saying. And here we start our questions. The first question: which title best expresses the ideas in the above passage? A very important question. You usually have it either this way, I mean about a title, give the best title, or you could be asked to give the main idea of the passage. Okay, in most cases you have this in the first paragraph, but in order to make sure, you have to read the whole text in order to find out. And what I did at the beginning is that I read you the main ideas of the text. So just let us remember, was it about the advantages of television only? The advantages of television only? Was it about television? Was it about television being a good master, a good servant, a good servant? The disadvantages of the television only. Okay, be careful, because if for example A, the advantages of the television, if we have an answer like this, you should notice that we have more, not only the advantages, we have more than that. So this, of course, this answer is not correct. Okay, again, D is not correct because it's only about the disadvantages, which is not correct. Okay, actually we had a description of television, we had the advantages and the disadvantages, and we had also something about the television being a good servant. Okay, so in order to get the best answer, we have to get the shortest one, which is television, because this includes all the other answers. So the correct answer is, of course, television. Television. Be careful, because this is one of the most difficult questions. You have to be very careful when you choose. And it's also very important because there is, there are 3 marks for that question. Okay. Next question. With what topic is paragraph 3 mainly concerned? This is again a repeated question in exams. You get 1 paragraph and you are asked to get the main idea of this paragraph. Of course, you'll have to go back to the paragraph and decide. You can read the first 2 sentence or the first 2 sentences to get the main idea, but I strongly advise that you read the whole paragraph in order to make sure. Okay, let's look at the choices first. How the housewives benefit from TV. Is it only about housewives? Is it about feature films, the children and the TV, or is it about the usefulness of television? Let's go back to paragraph 3 and find out. Okay, the television gives news, views, reviews, and interviews. The usefulness of television cannot be underestimated. As I told you, this is the second sentence, which proves my theory is true, that in most cases you have the main idea of the paragraph in the first or in the second sentence. Okay, the usefulness of television cannot be underestimated, which is the main idea. While sitting in one's room, one can witness the events of the world in their live form. So these are all things about the advantages or the usefulness of television. Let's go back and choose the correct answer, which is, of course, D. Yes, the usefulness of television. The usefulness of television. Okay. Next question. The author mentions all the following except. So be careful, because what you'll have to do here is that you'll find one of these which is not correct, which was not mentioned in the text. Okay, so you'll have to go through the whole text and find out which sentences were really mentioned. The cable TV with dish antenna. Television combines education and entertainment. Television is a source of entertainment. Television is more important than cinema. Okay, did they mention anything about cinema? Okay, what we'll do now is that we'll go back to the whole text and scan all the sentences to find out which one was not mentioned. Okay, so let's get back to the first slide. Television is one of the latest inventions of science. It presents both sight and sound. The invention of color TV is a great achievement of science. The cable TV with dish antenna is the latest edition of this achievement. So this is something that was mentioned in the 4 choices. So we found one. We should tick that, of course, on our answer paper. TV is no longer a luxury. It has become one of the necessities of life. It is a great source of entertainment. This again was mentioned. So this is one of the choices. It is a great source of entertainment, of course. It combines education with entertainment. This is also mentioned. It provides information in varied topics than the newspaper. So we are looking now for the cinema thing. Was it mentioned or not? The television gives news, views, reviews, and interviews. The usefulness of television cannot be underestimated. While sitting in one's room, one can witness the events of the world in their live form. One can see exciting matches and athletic competitions. One can enjoy watching old and new documentary and feature films, interesting and educative dramas, one-act plays, and several historical serials. Okay. Lessons for adults and children's education are also given. Television is a great help to the housewives. They get entertainment after they get bored while doing household work. still looking for the cinema thing. They also learn new lessons in cookery. The children learn new physical exercises, and the students get more information about lessons. Sometimes television causes troubles or make people unhappy. Many children who like it too much get their eyesight weakened. Many others neglected their lessons and study. Also, violent scenes from films have a bad effect on the young people. So we have scenes from films. We don't have anything about the cinema. Okay. Like all objects of science, television is a good servant, but a bad master. One can develop one's personality greatly through its proper use. The reverse can be the case in case of misuse. So now we go back to our question, and let's see which facts were mentioned, which one was not mentioned, which is what we are supposed to find here. The cable TV with dish antenna, of course it was mentioned, of course. Television combines education and entertainment. This was mentioned, of course. Television is a source of entertainment. It was mentioned. So what is left in the last one, which is television is more important than cinema. This was not mentioned at all in the text. So this is the correct answer, of course. Television is more important than cinema. This was not referred to in the passage. Okay. Next question. How can students benefit from TV? How can students benefit from TV? Of course, we have more than one thing about students using the TV, but we have to make one of these choices we have here. By neglecting their lessons, by getting more information about the lessons, by watching violent scenes, or when they like it too much. I know that you can answer these questions without going back to the text because it's very clear. Of course, it wouldn't be by neglecting the lessons or watching violent scenes. However, I advise you to go back to the text in order to find evidence that your answer is the correct one. Do not depend on your own information. Okay, let's go back to the part of the text where we'll find this piece of information. Okay, they also learn new lessons in cookery. This was about housewives, of course. The children learn new physical exercises, and the students, see the word students here, get more information about their lessons. Get more information about their lessons. If you go back to the question, we'll find that this is one of the choices we have here. So the answer is, of course, B, which is by getting more information about their lessons. You see, the questions are always not that difficult, but you need to be careful where to find them. Another question. What does the author mean by television is a good servant but a bad master? You can answer this question by understanding the whole text. However, it would be maybe easier if you go back to the part of the text where the sentence was mentioned. But let's look at the choices first. One should be a slave to television. One should be a slave to television. And then television should be your master. Television is a great achievement of science. Is this what is meant by the sentence? One should control television, not let it control one's life. So the person should control television. Television is the man's master. Television is the man's master, which is actually the same as A. So let's go back to the part of the text where is the sentence mentioned. Okay, like all objects of science, television is a good servant. Good servant, I mean it serves us, but a bad master. It cannot be a good master to us. One can develop one's personality greatly through its proper use. The reverse can be the case in case of misuse. This means if we misuse television, we will not benefit from it. Okay, so it means we will have to use the television properly or in a good way in order to benefit from it. Let's go back to the choices and see which one applies here. One should be a slave to television? Of course not. Television is a great achievement of science. It is true, but it's not the meaning of the sentence. One should control television, not let it control one's life. We should not let television control our lives. Television is the man's master. What do you think? Very good. Of course, it's C. One should control television, not let it control one's life. Great. Number 6. The word they in paragraph 3 refers to. For that question, you have to go back to the text where you will find this word underlined. Do not worry, you will find it because it will be very clear for you. This is the word they get entertainment. In most cases, not in all cases, this word refers back to the sentence before it. Okay, so you have to read the sentence before that one in order to understand the reference. Television is a great help to the housewives. They get entertainment. Who get entertainment? Of course, housewives. Of course, housewives get entertainment. But we didn't want to repeat the word again, so we used the pronoun they. Let's go back to the choices and see which one is correct. So they here refers to adults, plays, films, or women. What do you think? It was housewives, and housewives are women. So it's women. Women, of course. Another one. The word others in paragraph 4 refers to films, children, lessons, or scenes. Let's go back to the text where this word is mentioned. Again, it's underlined here. Many others. So again, in this case, we'll have to go back to the sentence before in order to decide. Okay. Many children who like it too much get their eyesight weakened. Many others. Who are the others? Of course, children. We are talking about many other children. Other children. Okay. Let's go back to the choices. Of course, we have children here. So the correct answer is children. Number 8. The word combines in the passage is closest in meaning to. So here we ask about the meaning of one word in the paragraph, in one of the paragraphs. You usually have it underlined again in the text, so do not worry, you'll always find it. Okay, does it mean separates, classifies, mixes, or differentiates? Back to the text. So it is a great source of entertainment. It combines education with entertainment. Education with entertainment. Two things together. What do you think? Two things together. Is it separates? I don't think so. It should be the opposite. Classifies, mixes, or differentiates. What do you think? Of course, mixes. Very good. Mixes. It gets two things together and mixes them together. So if you go back to the choices, let us check which one is most suitable here. Can it be incorrect? Incorrect use. What do you think? Wrong, bad, suitable. I think suitable is the only positive word we have here, which goes with the same meaning of the paragraph. Okay, because we got the impression it's something positive, something good. So the only one that applies here, of course, is suitable. Suitable. Very good. So proper means suitable. And that's the end of the reading comprehension questions. Now we move on to vocabulary. And let's start with the first type of question, which is choose the most suitable answer and then write A, B, C, or D in the blank space. 10 marks, 1 mark for each sentence. Okay, the submarine. Of course, we'll try to stick to the word list in your books. The submarine slowly rose to the vapor, surface, process, or evidence. Good. Surface. The submarine slowly rose to the surface of the sea, of course. Next, metals evaporate, test, fall, or expand when they are heated. You are always advised to read the whole sentence before trying to answer the question. When they are heated. Metals, of course. Expand. Very good, students. Expand. They get bigger. Metals expand when they are heated. Number 3. During our tour, we watched a lot of famous dots ruins. Ancient, fresh, average, technical. We need an adjective here. What do you think? We are on a tour, so what do you think? Of course, ancient. I mean old ruins, ancient ruins. Number 4. This is the building of the Ministry of. So we need a name of a ministry here. The Ministry of Region, Equator, Agriculture, or Climate. The only name we have here of a ministry is, very good, Agriculture. The Ministry of Agriculture. Number 5. Asia, Africa, and Antarctica are population, borders, continents, or capitals. What do we call these? Great, students. Of course, continents. Asia, Africa, and Antarctica are continents. Number 6. I finally reached my longitude, compass, coastline, or destination 2 hours late. I reached. The word reach is very important here. I finally reached my very good, destination. I reached my destination, the place I'm going to. Destination. Number 7. I could not bear living in a tropical climate, distance, density, or economy. I could not bear living in a tropical, very good, climate. In a tropical climate. Number 8. The books in the library are usually according to subjects. They are usually affected, classified, passed, or inherited. Very good. Classified, organized, categorized. So we have classified here. Number 9. Doctors have advised us to the amount of fat in our diets. To damage the amount of fat in our diets. Increase, reduce, or risk. Okay. Of course, reduce. Usually doctors advise us to reduce or make the amount of fat in our diets less. Number 10. She is a skillful, sunburned, solar, or protective guitar player. Very good. Skillful. And by the way, skillful could be written in as S-K-I-L. I mean 1 L or double L. Both are correct. But double L is the American version. Okay, so she is a skillful guitar player. Now we move to another type of question, which is the matching one. Match each word in column A with its meaning in column B. We have 5 marks for that. Okay, here I'll leave you with about 2 minutes to study those 2 columns. Okay, I hope you found the correct answers. To fill a space, I need a word meaning to fill a space. Which one is that? Very good. Occupy. To fill a space, or occupy. Number 2, a measurement of temperature or angles. A measurement. Very good. Degree. Number 3, person who likes new things or unusual things. Person who likes adventure. Very good. Adventurous. Adventurous. Very nice. The work of making things in factories. The work of making things in factories. Very good. Industry. Industry. Number 5, a serious disease that can be given to humans by a bite of an animal. A serious disease that can be given to humans by a bite of an animal, which is rabies. Rabies. Okay, so this is the end of the vocabulary section. Now we move to grammar. The first type of question is choose the most suitable answer from A, B, C, or D. You have 10 marks, 1 mark for each sentence. The first one is the earth went, has gone, goes or is going round the sun. You should understand that this sentence expresses a fact, a scientific fact, and for facts we normally use what type of tense? Yes, we use the present simple tense, of course. Which one here is the present simple? Great, it's goes. So the earth goes round the sun. The earth goes round the sun. Number 2, I was walking, or walk, or is walking home when I met Ali. We have 2 actions here. One was continuing when another action interrupted it. I, what do you think? It should be in the past continuous tense. I was walking. I was walking home when I met Ali. Number 3, he can't walk and his leg is in plaster. He can't walk when his leg is in plaster. He have broken, breaks, has broken or is breaking his leg. Okay? What do you think? Of course, has broken his leg. We used the present perfect tense here because we understand this is something that is a little bit recent. The man cannot walk and his leg is in plaster. of course, this means that his leg was broken, but this is something that happened in the past, but it's recent. It has something to do with the present time. So it should be the present perfect tense. And it cannot be have, because we have he, and he should be or should take has, not have. Number 4, your homework should be done, or should do, or do daily. We should understand that homework here cannot do anything. Homework is usually done by some person, meaning that this sentence is a passive sentence, right? Okay. In that case, if we have a passive voice tense, we should have two things: verb to be and past participle. Which one of these choices have a verb to be and a past participle? Of course, it's A. So your homework should be done. Verb to be and past participle. Your homework should be done daily. Number 5, Anne is very busy these days. She has Dot's free time. If the woman is busy, of course she doesn't have time. So what do you think? It should be something that expresses the fact that her free time is not much, right? Okay. And you should also think about free time being an uncountable word. Okay. So which one is suitable here? Of course, it's little. Little. We cannot use few or a few because it's not a countable word. We don't say one time or 2 times or whatever. We can say 1 hour, 2 hours, but for free time, it's not countable. So we use little. Number 6, the museum was very crowded. There were a little people, or many people, or much people, or few people. Okay? If it's crowded, the place is crowded. Of course, that does not mean we have few people, of course. Okay? So few, we cannot answer using the word few. There's no way you can use few. Okay? And for little, of course, it's the same thing. And add to that little is a quantifier that comes with uncountable nouns. Of course, people is a countable noun. We can say 1 person, 2 persons, 3 people. You see? So there were too many people, of course. Much is not an option here because it goes with uncountable nouns. So there were too many people. Number 7, I asked 2 people the way to the station, but both or both of them or neither of them or either of them could help. Neither of them could help. The word but gives you a kind of negative feeling about the sentence. It seems like you're not happy about this. You asked 2 people the way to the station, but they couldn't help you. And because they are 2, we use neither, okay? And because we have them, a pronoun, we should use of before that. So neither of them could help. Number 8, an orphan is a person parents are dead. Where or whose or whom or which parents are dead? Very good. Whose parents are dead? I would like you to imagine that this sentence was 2 sentences before. It was like this: an orphan is a person, his parents are dead. In order to join the 2 sentences, we used whose. Okay, so this means that we use it in the state of a possessive pronoun. An orphan is a person whose parents are dead. Have you ever been to a British museum? The British Museum and British Museum, or no article at all to British Museum? What do you think? Of course, the British Museum, because it's one thing that we know. We all share the information, or we share the knowledge about the British Museum, and we all know it. So if you know it, we use the British Museum. Number 10, we won't find them, will find them, or wouldn't find them. Okay. If we are late, they are in a hurry. Notice we have if here. Okay. This is case number 1. If we are late, present simple. Okay. What do you think? If you have present simple, of course we should have will. Okay. We should have will in one of the sentences, but you should read the sentence carefully in order to understand if it's negated or not. We will find them or won't find them if we are late. They are in a hurry. What do you think? Of course, we won't find them. We will not find them. If we are late, it's negated, of course. Okay, now we move on to another type of question, which is correct the underlined mistakes in the following sentences. We have 5 marks for 5 sentences. First one, many accidents caused by careless driving. The minute you see the word by, you understand there is a passive voice tense here. And I repeat, if you know there is a passive voice tense, this should be verb to be and past participle. So it should be many accidents are caused by careless driving. Verb to be, past participle, are caused by careless driving. I have lived in London most my life. Most my life. Of course not. There is something that should be added here. I've lived in London most of my life, because we have a pronoun here, so we say most of my life. Number 3, what of the juices do you prefer, orange or pineapple and mango? Notice we have a limited number of items to choose between. See, we have a restricted number of items here. So what should we choose instead of what? Of course it's which. Which of the juices do you prefer, orange or pineapple and mango? Because we have only 2 choices here, so which is more suitable here? Number 4, he isn't popular, he has little friends. He has little friends. Friends is accountable now. I can say 2, 3, 4 friends. What do you think? Good. He isn't popular, he has few friends. We use little only with words that cannot be counted, like water or perfume or whatever, but friends is a countable noun, so we use the word few instead. He isn't popular, he has few friends. Number 5, the people which work in the office are very friendly. People which? Of course not. What do you use here? For people, of course, we normally use who. The people who work in the office are very friendly. Okay. And finally, we go to the writing section. Okay. We'll start with the easiest type of question, which is add the missing letters. Okay, look at that sentence. The ozone layer in the atmosphere protects us from the UV radiation. The ozone layer in the atmosphere protects us from the UV radiation. You have to try reading the sentence yourself while in the exam, because you're not supposed to have any teacher reading any questions for you. So try to read it silently, of course, and imagine the missing letters. In this case, they are. Very good. The ozone layer in the atmosphere. O. Protects us. C. From the UV radiation. Another one. 2 letters again. Sunshine helps the body to produce vitamin D, which it needs for healthy bones. Produce and healthy. Good. Produce is U, healthy, L. Okay. Now we have to write 3 meaningful sentences about the water cycle. The water cycle. You'll always have something related to your book. What we'll do now is that we will give you 3 sample sentences, but this does not mean they are, you're supposed to write the same sentences. Any meaningful sentence is accepted, of course. About the water cycle, you could write, firstly, water evaporates from the sea and rises into the air. Then, notice here we used firstly and then in the next sentence. Then the water vapor condenses and forms clouds. Then rain falls into rivers and seas, and the cycle starts again. So, again, any meaningful sentence is accepted here, as long as it's related to the topic. Now we move on to the last type of question, which is write a paragraph of about 120 to 150 words about how we can avoid illness. How we can avoid illness. Okay, here we'd like to discuss how to deal with the writing task. These are very important points to keep in mind before trying to answer the question. First, you have to analyze the task. Read the question carefully. Underline keywords in the questions because this is the way you are not going to write about something that is not related to the topic. This is extremely important. Do not write about something you are not asked to write about. Look at this task, for example. Write a paragraph of about 120 to 150 words about. The most important thing here is the number of words. So you have to know the limit of the words you can use. Okay, of course you do not have to count the words, but at least you should know the number of lines. So if your line is consists of 10 words, so you'll have to write about 12 lines, for example, or 15 lines. See? So at least you shouldn't write something that is much less or much more than this. Okay. Next, look at the question itself. How can we avoid illness caused by bacteria and viruses? So you have to stick to this topic. How to avoid illnesses, how to avoid diseases. But not all diseases. I'm not going to talk about all diseases. I'm going to talk only about those diseases or illnesses caused by bacteria and viruses. Okay? So, avoidance, how to avoid, and what are the type of illnesses? Bacteria and viruses. Illnesses caused by bacteria and viruses. Do not try to write anything that is not related to that, because if you do, you might lose marks. Okay? Okay. Something else you have to do is analyze the language needed. What kind of tense you use here? What kind of tense? Is it present simple? Is it present continuous? What kind of tense? Fixed phrases. And I'm sure you've studied those with your teachers at school. I mean, in this type of paragraph, there are some phrases you could use. Okay, there are some connecting words you should know, so you should think about this before writing. Okay, think about the use of present simple. I think here, because we are going to write about fact, we will need the present simple tense. Okay, because we will talk about facts and general knowledge. Then you'll have to brainstorm ideas. Just write some notes about the things you're going to write. Plan for your writing. You could write, for example, about hygiene, the bathroom, cuts. I mean, when you are injured or you have cuts in your skin. Lifestyle, the way you live. Cooking, small crowded places, antibiotics. Think about all these things, all these ideas, all these notes, and then you can expand these and write a complete paragraph. Then the final step is that you are going to write a topic sentence, the most important sentence in the whole paragraph. Okay, then subordinate sentences, and this way you are going to have a complete paragraph. Okay, now write your first draft. Notice you'll have to write a draft. Then check your draft for any mistakes, especially spelling and grammar. If you don't, believe me, you'll have so many mistakes. Anybody who writes usually have some slips. So you have to read what you've written in order to make sure your spelling is okay and your grammar is okay. And if there are any mistakes, try to correct them. Now you can write your final draft. Okay, so this is the topic. What we are going to do now is that we are going to provide you with a sample paragraph about how can we avoid illness caused by bacteria and viruses. Look at this. There are two ways that infectious illness can pass from body to another, from one body to another. So this is the topic sentence here. There are two main ways that infectious illness can pass from one body to another. Okay? Of course, what follows that you have to write about the two ways. The first way is by direct contact. I mean, when two things touch. The second way, look at those fixed phrases. The first way, the second way, is when the body comes into contact with a substance that is carrying the infection. Viruses can get into your body in bloodstream when you cut yourself, so this is about cuts. Bacteria are very small microscopic organisms that carry infection. So then, how can we prevent illness which is caused by bacteria or viruses? Let's start with hygiene. Wash your hands after using the bathroom and before eating. Always keep the bathroom clean. It is the most dangerous room in the house in terms of bacteria, so keep it clean and change the towels often. Another simple bit of protection: if you cut yourself, put on a plaster. As far as lifestyle is concerned, eat properly, sleep well, don't smoke. See, look at this type of language. Eat properly, sleep well, We have all here imperatives, okay? Eat properly, sleep well, don't smoke, and do a little exercise. Cook your food properly. So we are giving advice here. Cook your food properly and avoid old food. So if you are ill, go to bed and avoid small places. Again, we're giving advice. Avoid, imperative. Small places where there are a lot of people, because people may easily catch the infection from you. Take antibiotics. Advice, imperative. Take antibiotics with care, because they kill both dangerous and friendly bacteria. Okay, so this was a sample topic. Now we come to something very important here. Many students ask about what kind of topics are we supposed to expect in the exam. And here we have some suggested topics for you for writing. So you have to be ready to write about any of these. Write about the Sahara. Write about a natural cycle. Any natural cycles. You study 3 of those. The environment. Write about the environment. Ecology, food chain, food pyramid, herbivore, carnivore. Okay, so you should go to your book and try to get some information about those things. Number 4, write about a progress report. An engineering project, for example. You can be asked to choose any engineering project in the UAE or in another country and write a progress report. So you have to check again in your book for the sections needed for this kind of report. Number 5, comparing 2 countries. You could be asked to compare 2 countries of your choice, or they can ask you to write about 2 certain countries. So you have to get yourself ready for that kind of language. I mean, the language of comparison. Number 6, classifying illnesses. So you should talk or write about sorts of types of illnesses or diseases. Number 7, how to prevent illnesses. How to prevent illnesses. Number 8, truth and myth about sun safety. Things that are true about sun safety and things that are not true, and that people are just talking about, but these things are not true. Number 9, safety in the environment. Talk about safety or write about safety in the environment. And finally, write about safety in sports. How can you avoid injury in sports? What kind of clothing should you wear? What kind of protection should you have in mind when you play sports? Okay. Of course, you could have more than this, but these are the things that are related to your book.
So that's it for today. This is the final session, and I would advise you, because now that your exams are so close, I would advise you strongly to revise all the vocabulary items you studied and all the grammatical points, and then you can start answering some mock exams. Actually, plenty of those are available on the forum, and if you need any questions, we will be happy to receive your questions on the forum. So we will answer every question we will get. Thank you very much, and I wish you the best of luck. Goodbye.